Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of C-Suite, a CEO chat. And yes, I am Shawanna Kennedy, your host. I'm excited. Y'all know I'm actually always excited, but today is special because when I say that I get to go across the globe to speak to business owners and entrepreneurs about the good, the bad, and the sometimes ugly of what it means to be a CEO, today we have done just that. Matter of fact, she's in a different time zone. We've gone all the way to Dubai for this young lady. Shakey is amazing. She's all things finance, money, what is it, real estate, being the ultimate entrepreneur, so much so that her thirst, her hunger, wanting to help individuals just like you and I have taken her across the globe to Dubai. I'm excited to have Miss Shakey because she is all things when we talk about money, family, right? That our conversation is going to be so robust today because it is about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you know, this young lady don't pull any punches. She is a straight shooter and she helps you get to the money and talk about our wealth, the wealth of our family, the wealth of our children, and our children's children. So I don't want to delay. Let's get this lady in here because you already know it's almost past her bedtime. Let's welcome Miss Shakey to the platform. Hey, welcome to C-Suite.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
Wonderful. I am excited. I know it's late over there, so I want to thank you in advance for pausing to have this candid conversation with me. When I think about you recently have moved across the globe. So I think that's a good thing, right? We talk about the good and the bad. So let's talk about some good stuff to jump out the gate to make it feel all warm and fuzzy. Why? Let's think about good. Why do you do what you do, Shakey? Why?
Okay, so the reason I do what I do is because, just to give you a little backstory, okay, back in 2007, I was living a dream. Okay, I had almost $1 million in the bank and I had a $5 million real estate portfolio. Girl, I could eat whatever I wanted to eat, like go wherever I wanted to, like life was good. Okay, well, then 2008 happened. We all know what happened in 2008. No, that's not when we got our first Black president. While it was, that's not what affected me. Okay. What affected me was the fact that the housing bubble burst and the entire country went into a recession. The market crashed and everything. And I did everything that they told me to do, right? I invested in stocks. Okay, I had a really nice stock portfolio. And I also invested in real estate. I had a bunch of it. But none of that could save me from literally a recession wiping me completely dry. I found myself being so broke that I was going through trash cans looking for newspaper clippings so that I can buy a can of tuna for a nickel. Mm-hmm. Like things got really bad. Okay. And so my husband says, honey, you're going to have to go to work. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? And like, I knew what he was saying was true, right? But when I married my husband, he told me I never have to work a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know I am a certified gold digger. Okay, we can talk about that later, what that means. But anyway, but I knew I was not going to put my family in a position where we're going to have to live under a bridge. You know what I'm saying? So I go and look for a job, and I find myself at this customer service. Because that's really what all that was available was customer service jobs, right? And so here it is. I'm finding myself looking for employment at a place that I could have once bought. It was humiliating. It was literally, it's almost indescribable, the feeling that I felt. Well, I ended up getting the job, and I asked the lady, I said, how much will I be getting paid? And, she's all perky and excited. And she was like, $10.25 an hour. Shawanna, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me I'm supposed to sit here for an entire hour and in exchange, you gonna give me $10.25?
Mhm.
Make that make sense, right? But I had to do it. And so there was a person that kept asking me to his hotel meeting, like, come on to this hotel meeting, come on to my hotel meeting. I don't want to come to your little funky hotel meeting. You haven't been invited to a hotel meeting before? I know you've been invited to a hotel meeting, right? So I'm like, I don't want none of your doTERRA oils. I don't want no Tupperware. I ain't got no money. So why you inviting me somewhere I can't buy? So anyway, so I go just so he could leave me alone. And I sit in the back row, so I could dip out so that when they start pitching,
yes,
I can go. Okay. But instead, what ended up happening was I found myself leaning in because the guy in the front of the room was talking about how you can use life insurance to grow your wealth, how you use life insurance to leverage your wealth, how you use life insurance to protect your wealth. And I'm like literally about to jump up out of my seat, because had I known what he was talking about just a couple of years prior, I wouldn't have lost everything. And so that very day was the day I said to this guy, I said, listen, whatever you're selling, I'm buying, but I also need the ability to share with other people, because I didn't want anybody else to go through what I went through.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And I appreciate when God positioned us, and it's the design detour. I refer to them as design detours, because nobody likes a detour. We see them as inconvenient, right? We see them as, this is not what was on my agenda. This was not a part of my plan. But every now and then, God will give us a design detour, and I'm excited that He did that for you. And because of that, you're able to redirect other people and their financial situations. And so I'm happy to know you, right? Because everybody needs to know somebody that can help them make their money make sense, right? And allow their money to work for them, because people work hard. And so I appreciate that. And I love that story, because in the things that we get to do, I said we get to do it because God could use and choose anybody that we get to do. That story is a part of your foundation, and it's the thing that you use to then propel you to do the things that you're doing now. And it's the thing. So who inspires you though? Who inspires you? I know you have the husband, I know, family, right? And heck, let's just say it, you now currently live in Dubai. Who inspires you though?
Ooh, who inspires me? I'm going to be completely honest. Who inspires me really are my clients. So my client base are high net worth individuals. And when I see, and a good amount of them are single women that literally are about their bag, okay? They have money, some of everywhere. They got money, in a brokerage account, a money market account. They got money in a 401k. They got money everywhere because they did what they thought was right. They put away money. They didn't, spend their money on stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they just did the very best they could, but they just don't know how to take it any further. And so that's who inspires me, those women who are my clients.
That's good. That's good, because we have to get back to knowing the inspiration and the why we do what we do. And you being able to know that this helps us. Look, it helps us to then to live a life of leisure. Because I know that's what you talk about. You talk about living a life of leisure. I see that, right? So let's talk about that a little bit, though. We're talking about being a CEO and being able to live a life of leisure. What could prevent somebody from living a life of leisure? I'm just saying, I'm just curious,
Can I cuss? No, I can't cuss.
Honey iced tea.
Okay. What can keep a person from it is really just trying to keep up with the Joneses, buying stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this compulsion where we feel like we got to look like everybody else. We got to move like everybody else. Just because, your girlfriend, when she married her husband and they had a $10,000 or $20,000 wedding, that's on credit cards, and then she got a $20,000 rock on her finger, again, that's on a credit card, and now they got a 5,000 square foot home that they can't even furnish, that low key they sitting on bean bags, and you feel like you need this also. And so now you literally are like to the races of trying to figure out how you can get this big house, how you too can get this fancy car or the latest this or that, versus just living a very simple life. Don't nobody care. Yeah. To be honest, don't nobody care. Unless you are constantly, somebody will literally spend $500,000 for a home for people to show up once a year, and that's on Thanksgiving. And let me tell you something. They ain't there for the house, they there for the dressing. They ain't there for the house. They want the dressing, they want the turkey, and they want the gravy. But,
You know what now? Okay, you have to help someone who is looking, who is listening. They may be new. They may be new to all of this. They may be tapping in for the very first time, because I know that you're everywhere, because you get the opportunity to, and you believe in networking. It's for sure. You think about that. How can you help with even thinking about the networking portion of being a CEO? What has that done for your business, and what tip can you give someone that's really not their thing?
Oh, y'all. Okay. So there's something I say all the time, and I think it's so good. It's so good. Leverage is the language of the wealthy. I don't want you to just think about that when it comes to money. I want you to think about that for all facets of your life. And so if you think about leverage just means that let me use something else so that it can make it easier for me to get what it is that I want. Okay. So for example, if you're out networking and you're an introvert, okay, I don't like talking to people, I don't know how to talk to people. Girl, then leverage an extrovert. Bring one of your extrovert girlfriends, or find an extrovert in the room and say, hey, listen, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. And us extroverts will literally take you underneath our wing and be like, okay, girl, let's go. Let's go. And so that's one of the things. But you having the ability to network is literally going to catapult your business. If you don't see that this is a team sport, us in business, this is a team sport. This is not an individual sport. I was having a conversation with my son yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he wants his daughter, who's only 2 weeks old, but he wants his daughter to be a professional tennis player because it's an individual sport. Well, entrepreneurship is not an individual sport. It's a team sport. And so identify who it is that you want on your team, who you can put on your team. You might have a couple of subs, like at these networking events, find you a sub that you can put in place to help you be able to get additional names and numbers, because you never know who is going to get you to that next person that's going to get you into the door for your breakthrough or for the breakout moment in your business.
I love it. I love it. And when we think about, because we have serialpreneurs, but you mentioned something when you were talking about your son with the new grandbaby. So congratulations, you grandma. Do you have an affectionate name yet? Do you have an affectionate name?
I do. It's Lovey.
Oh, Lovey. I love it. Yes, I love it, Lovey. Hey, Lovey. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. When you think about that, though, being a solopreneur, I love that you brought in the team, the sport of it, and being a part of the team. Because I know one of the things that we've talked about, right, being in some of the same spaces, is you hiring tech before you can hire people. right?
Yes.
And you think about a team, and you think about the things and the equipment and the technology that you add to your team, with it being a team sport, even in the
Mm-hmm.
piece.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you when you initially started? Were you able to, because I know you said, this gentleman told you the story, he brought you in, took you on his wing, and of course you've been flying ever since.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you in the beginning? When I think about, we hire in tech before we can potentially hire people, when we are solo, when we are trying to fly solo, and we have
Yeah.
this big desire, this big dream.
Well, so for me, it was a little different because that was 15 years ago. So 15 years ago, we didn't have like these spaces that we have now. There weren't the networks that we have now. When I tell you right now, we are spoiled. We are spoiled. But back then, you were literally by yourself. You didn't know it. It took you to, maybe grandma's auntie's cousin was an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? But now it's so common to be able to meet an entrepreneur. So back then it was very tough. I'm going to be honest with you. And many times I quit. I went back to working, I was still working that job, and I had actually put in my resignation and said that I was going to quit. And my boss laughed at me and she said, you know what? My cousin sells insurance too. She said, why don't you just stay here and work this business on the weekend? She said, I'll let you work the business in the evening and on the weekends. She said, that way, you can still have some income coming in. In the finance industry, there's a term that's called opportunity cost. Shawanna, let me break it down for you.
Yeah,
Let me break it down.
Please.
Let me break down opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is defined this way. What you choose to do, what is it that you're giving up to be able to do that thing? Okay. So for example, if I decide to purchase a Burberry purse for $1,800, okay, what is that $1,800? What's the opportunity cost that purchasing that $1,800 Burberry is going to cost me? Because I could have invested it someplace else, okay? Likewise, there is opportunity cost around our time. If I spend time here, what am I giving up for spending time here when I could have spent it someplace else? But what this woman convinced me of was this. She convinced me, because by that point I was making $15 an hour. Girl, you go.
Yeah.
Okay. By this time I was making $15 an hour instead of the $10.25. Okay. But what she convinced me was that $15 an hour was more real than what I could have been doing on my own. That's what she told me. Now, I was capped at $15 an hour, Shawanna. However, when working my own business, I don't have a cap. There is no cap.
Yeah.
So I allowed her to say, and I allowed myself, because it wasn't just about her, because I didn't believe in myself. To be honest, I didn't believe in myself. So what I decided to do was I said, you're right. Now, let me ask you, Shawanna, do you think that after I left that job working 8 hours, went home to a son and a husband, I had to cook, I had to clean, I had to do all of that? How many hours do you think I dedicated to my business?
Not many. Yeah.
Not many.
Mm-hmm.
Not many. And so that's probably the biggest opportunity cost that I've ever paid. That was an expensive decision. Very expensive decision. And I ask entrepreneurs every single day, is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it? Because is it better to bank on? And let me tell you, that company is now out of business.
Did you ever go back and see her?
Oh, she sees me all the time on Facebook. She congratulated me on my move. In my little financial service business that your little cousin does.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. When I think about that, because this is so good. This is so good. And I like, let's talk about the no cap. Let's talk about the no cap, because when we think about being business owners, sometimes we get stuck, right? Whether it's we get stuck or we believe that the business we in, it has no wiggle room, it has no place to go. Help somebody who may be stuck, right? Help them. Help that person that say, I've been trying. I hear you talking. This sound real good, Miss Shaky. This sound real good. And I'm stuck. I don't do much networking. And I hear what you said about the networking. How can you help them to get unstuck? And let's talk about that, removing the cap off of that ability to do more.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you. And thank you so much for this question. The reason why this is so good is because I actually own my own insurance agency. Okay. I have about 53 agents in my agency. They are phenomenal humans. And, for many of them, life be life. When I tell you I can't stand that term, I can't stand that term. Don't you come to me talking about what life be doing to you. Okay, because what you're doing back to it. Yeah. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But what I say to them all the time is that you haven't yet established a discipline for you to even be stuck at. So think about it like this. Think about it like this. So my son is a professional ball player. Okay, he plays basketball professionally. And I play basketball as well, all the way up to the collegiate level. So I spent a lot of time in the gym, okay? And so I'm going to tell you this quick quote that one of his coaches said. His coaches said, offense basically fills the stadium, okay? Defense wins games. However, rebounds wins championships. Okay. Many of us right now, we're either playing offense, we're playing defense, but not a lot of us are rebounding. Okay. But let me break that down for you. Offense is like this. Offense is where you're doing a lot of studying. You know what I'm saying? You getting additional degrees. You in mentorship programs, and you doing all of that. Okay, you on offense because you're getting all of the knowledge. Okay, you putting up shots. But the thing is when you putting up shots, that means that the defense though can still put up shots too. Mm-hmm. The opposing team can put up shots too. All right, cool. Now, if you're playing defense though, defense looks like this. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not doing this. I'm just doing the mundane, the everyday. You know what I'm saying? I'm blocking everybody else out. You know what I'm saying? So they can't put up no shots either, but you're not putting up any either. Mm-hmm. You're not putting up any shots either. You're boxing out. Sure, you're boxing out. But when you're boxing out, you can't shoot. Now, let's talk about rebounding. Rebounding looks like this, where you have the reason why rebounding wins championships, because no matter if the offense or the defense throws up the ball, you get the opportunity to grab it and it gives you control. Whoever rebounds the ball has control of the ball. They have control of the game. So instead of, you trying to figure out, should I be over here? Should I be over there? Baby, you need to just be rebounding, taking control, and you decide which way you want to go. Baby, you need to go toward that basket and do a layup. You need to do a layup. And all of that comes in the discipline. Literally, the lack of discipline will have us praying for miracles. We think we're doing all of this, but we haven't established not one discipline. What is one thing that we consistently do every single day over time? We haven't committed to one thing.
Yeah.
So how we gonna be stuck? We stuck not being able to be disciplined. That's what we stuck with.
That is good. That is good. Woo, woo, woo. Y'all, I hope you are note taking over here because she is putting it down, because a couple of things that she actually doing. And I'm over here like laughing to myself, right? Because this is so juicy. And with you giving the story behind it, right? With you giving the real life experience, I'm hoping that someone that's looking and listening will be able to then see themselves in this, because that's what this is all about, guys. This is all about you seeing yourself, or you being able to assist the people that you get to assist, because you may not be a CEO, but you heard what she said. She have a team of people, a team of agents who get to do what they do, and she is so grateful for them, because you could be a person that is actually helping to lift your CEO as they climb, right? And then perhaps someday you may choose to take that on for yourself. It's like all of these good nuggets, all of these bite-sized things to help even people like me. It's to say, stay in the game, right? Stay in the game, keep doing it, right? And prepare for the layup, right? Prepare for when, even if you're still doing it, but you may feel like you're sitting on the bench, it's like, no, your time is coming. So still keep working out. Still keep still keep doing those push-ups, those sit-ups, those squats, ladies. Still keep doing those things, so that when the opportunity, because you talked about opportunity, and so that when the opportunity presents itself, you don't miss it. And my grandmother used to say this phrase that, opportunity is like a ball-headed thing. It will slip away, right? It will slip away. So we have to be ready for those opportunities. We have to be ready for those opportunities when they present themselves. I'm excited about this conversation. So y'all already know what that means. That means that we are going to have Miss Shakey back for a part 2. That's right. So don't you go nowhere. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the next episode of C-Suite, a CEO Chat, because we're going to get into it where Miss Shakey tells us, because I told you this young lady recently moved to Dubai. So as a CEO, when you believe God has released you to what? Take over the world, right? In my pinky voice, in my pinky in the brain voice, right? To take over the world. It has truly done that. So we're going to talk about her move to Dubai. We're going to talk about family and even self-care. So we love you, Miss Shakey. Don't go nowhere. We are about to get ready to get out of here, but make sure you stay tuned for part 2 of my conversation with Shakey Webster. We'll see you guys next time. This episode is brought to you by Kennedy Media, your ultimate partner in content creation, video recording, and digital marketing. Be seen, be heard, and increase visibility in your business. Contact us today at KennedyMediaLLC.com, KennedyMediaLLC.com, and unlock your brand's full potential.